from a conceptual perspective. When people talk about a desire to be successful, all of the elements they think, intelligence, expertise. Hey, how much am I willing to give up and commitment, and are not committed to the struggle, acquiescing to the struggle, they're committed.
Hello everybody, Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. I am not going to take much of your time, but I did want to address some new unfolding information as it pertains to a story that broke out last week about a young girl, a young black girl who attended a Christian school that was predominantly white. The story basically unfolded as three young white boys her classmates held her down and cut her dreadlocks. It was a story that garnered a lot of attention, a story that rallied a lot of people, myself included, after hearing the story and watching the interview with her parents and her in the home. Story has just broken earlier today that she's recanted everything. She has admitted, quote unquote, that she made the entire story up and it never really happened. First of all, for a sense and state of credibility, I have to tell this side of the story. I have to be honest and forthcoming in order to sustain credibility. So I'm going to report it as is, that she recanted the story. Is it possible that the school applied enough pressure for her and her family to recant the story? Absolutely possible. Maybe even probable. But that's not what's being reported. The parents are not reporting being pressured by the school to recant the story. And since the parents felt going to mainstream media was the best way to handle this, we have to be attentive to what's being given to mainstream media now. I'm not saying that the story won't change again. What I am saying is, as of right now, this young girl has recanted her story. It's being reported, of course, on all the major media outlets. Now, what's my reason outside of the sense of credibility in coming back with what has been reported and changed? It's the fact that we never ask ourselves why. And if we don't get into the habit of asking ourselves why, our children don't stand a chance. No one's asking why she made it up. And this isn't a why to say, okay, we've got to come up with some excuse for her making up a lie. No, we need to understand why she did it. Is it something in which she's just simply seeking attention? Is it an outcry because of something else that's going on in her life? Could it be that she's actually being bullied and she just made that story up to get people to listen to her? Is it that she feels out of place and she's just doing what she can to get out of the school? All of these are likely and not uncommon. Kids do what they need to do to get what they want, in understanding what drives and moves their parents. So if your parent is someone that's going to be attentive to you being assaulted or attacked, definitely when race is involved, based on their own experiences, you may play that card. Or there could be something going on in the home. These are not accusations, because they're simply me talking about what's possible and what could happen. And that I don't automatically just take the fact that it was recanted as it never happened or there isn't something there. But I'm also not going to be one of those people who said something and stood on something that they found out is not true now and looking for any reason not to be wrong. I've been wrong in the past and I'll be wrong in the future. I try to put, and those of you who know me know I put a lot of research and investigation into stories before I do them. That's why I'm hardly ever on the trending end of stories. I don't get a lot of views because I don't jump out ahead of things saying things that I really don't know or understand. I didn't say a whole lot about it. I don't even know if I made a video on it. I know that I made a very quick comment on it on Facebook. But what I'm doing is I'm just coming back and I'm talking about it because to me it's a teachable moment. It's a moment of understanding that we've got to be careful about what we share. And it's not a whole lot that you could have done with that because all the media outlets were on it. The family had held an interview, so it wasn't something that somebody else made up. This is something that if the little girl never comes out and says it didn't happen, or the investigation doesn't come forth and prove it, there's not a whole lot that you can say that you didn't check into. You're just reporting what you're getting, and you're talking from a perspective of what's been given to you. You can't ask a whole lot more than that with the resources that we have before its verification. Now, what I do understand is the police got involved. Little kids under the scrutiny of a police questioning, interrogation, or whatever you want to call it, are not going to hold up well. It's easy to go home and tell mom, put a few tears on mom and dad and get them to do it. Be a little indifferent or whatever with school administrators and maybe get away with it. But you know, when you're sitting down and you're being asked something by an authoritative figure, and you never know what type of leverage they were using to get the truth, or what we have been told is the truth. But it happened. I just want us to get to a point to where we are asking the question, why? I think so much will come from asking why. We can't look at things as being abstract. We are going to have to ask ourselves why. When we get to the point of asking why, a lot of other things will come to bear. We will start discovering solutions. We'll start getting answers. We'll start being in a position of understanding. We react to almost everything emotionally. We emote about everything without understanding anything. And that's the thing that I want us to get to. Okay, she did it. And why? And that's the question. Will we ever know why? Maybe not. But we can start by asking the question and then presenting some possible answers to kind of get an understanding of how our babies are dealing with things in these environments. We're putting them in environments where it's very difficult for them to really truly fit in and thrive because the environments were never created for them. And we have to ask ourselves that. How much are we going to put our kids through trying to assimilate? And we're not integrating into the system, we're disintegrating into it. And that, if you don't know what that means, just look for the state stage model by Alexander Lighton, and it'll explain the difference between integration and disintegration. And we are disintegrating into a system that was not designed for us. And so let's just, you know, start to ask some questions. That's going to be a push from Rick Wallace and the Odyssey Project. Moving forward is let's do better at asking why. On that note, I'm gonna check out of here. Don't forget, we definitely need your support with the programs we're doing, with the vamp up on programming on this channel. We're looking for sponsors, we're looking for donors. The information on how to donate is going to be here, and we will be adding information on sponsorships to the description, the default description on the channel very shortly. But we definitely do need your support. On that note, I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye. Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here. I hope that you guys are off to a great start as far as your week is concerned. I hope that you are coming off of a good week where things went well, were profitable, prosperous, and productive. Even if it wasn't, make a recommitment this week, make the necessary adjustments, and get back in the game. This is a marathon. This is a game of perseverance and resilience. It is about making the necessary adjustments. It's about remaining committed and finishing what you're starting. Not everything is going to go your way. That's something that you're going to have an understanding of and be okay with, because things simply happen. Nobody's perfect. No situation is perfect. There's always going to be something that you're working against. That is a part of the process. You have to prepare yourself to be in process. You have to give yourself permission to be in process. The moment that there's nothing wrong with the pursuit of perfection. But what you have to understand is the pursuit of perfection is the pursuit of completion. And in the pursuit of completion, you are going to be always moving towards it. When you're complete and finished, you're done. That means you finished your work. That's the end of the game. That's when you shut it down and you call it a wrap at the end of life. When you look up and you are able to read the pages of your legacy that you've built, that you're leaving the world, that's when you reach perfection, is when it's done. It's not about everything being absolutely in alignment. Perfection is completion. It means that what you started to do has been absolutely done to its fullest. There's nothing left to do. And so you're pursuing perfection, but perfection is a far way off. What you're doing is you're going through the process of achieving perfection. And in the midst of that, you're going to have disruptions. You've got to be okay with that. That's just simply the way it is. I'm going to be brief again this week, but I just want to hit something home. There are a number of different things that are at the top of the list, say the top 10 reasons why people fail at business. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is definitely in the top 5. And it's an unwillingness or an inability to invest in oneself. And when I say that, I mean in every way possible. Investing time, investing energy, investing effort, investing capital, currency, and resources into yourself. I see people all the time attempting to fund business ideas that they have not invested in themselves. One of the things that an average venture capitalist or angel funder or someone that understands what investment in business and venture is, one of the things they're going to look at, how much have you already put in of your own resources, whether it's time, energy, effort, money. They're going to want to see what's invested. Just the idea alone is not going to attract true investors, people who will put in the money necessary to fund your idea. There's money out there. There's always capital out there. There's always resources. And I tell people all the time, your number one resource is your resourcefulness. It's not the money you have in the bank. It's not the people you have on speed dial. It's not your potential investors. It's your resourcefulness, the ability to know what you need and find a way to get it. That's going to be what holds you together. That's going to be what provides the confidence to create calmness in some very hostile and volatile situations as you're trying to work this thing out. It is a process. But the thing is that most people want something, but they don't want to invest in it. I tell people all the time, what I see with most people is they have a wish list versus a list of goals, aspirations, and benchmarks. And what's the difference between goals and wishes? Goals are something you look at, you measure the cost, and you pay the price. Goals are something you sit up and you say, okay, I'm going to have to put this in. I'm going to have to invest this. I'm going to have to take this much time. I have to do this. Then you pay the price and you reap the reward. A wish list is those things. Is a list of things people want but are not willing to pay for, not willing to put in the work for, not willing to be committed to. That's a wish list. It's just something on paper that looks nice, and it would be fun if you were able to do it. It would be great if you were able to have it. But the truth of the matter is you're not putting in the work. You're not investing. You're not putting skin in the game. And then you'll turn around and want people to support something in which you have not supported. Sitting up and saying you want to do it, sitting up saying that you're good enough to do it is not enough. You have to be able to put in the work. You have to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to take some of your own paper and invest it in yourself, invest it in courses, invest it in material, invest it in inventory, invest it in whatever it needs to grow you. You're going to have to invest in yourself at some point in time. You're going to have to become better than you are. because you have people out there that are competing for the same market. And you have to have an understanding of how you're going to establish and distinguish yourself in the market. You can't go into a market and think just because you're offering something that people will automatically gravitate to it. So you got to know how to brand. You're going to have to invest in your branding, in your marketing campaign. You're going to have an ad spend. I don't care what it is you're doing. Organic business is great. It's a good supplement, but primarily you got to have a tried and proven method of driving business to you. And then you got to have a tried and proven method of retaining the business, because that's business longevity, not conversion, but retention. And you have to understand that conversion is turning someone that's not a customer into a customer. Businesses live off of retention, taking customers you have converted and retaining them through developing relationships with them that create what we call trust. And that's where you get your customer loyalty from. It's in the process of knowing how to do all of these things, but that doesn't come free. That has a cost to it. And what I see and what really bothers me is how many people want something that they're not willing to invest in. And then they expect someone else to invest in them. You are going to have to be your first investor. You're going to have to find, I don't care if you don't have a dime in your pocket, you've got to find a way to put some skin in the game. You got to find a way to be invested. You got to show somebody the effort you've put into being what you say you're going to be if they back you. That may be 10,000 hours of research and analytical processing that says, I've literally put 10,000 hours into understanding this. I know the market inside and out. Here's my plan. This is how it will work. This is how it compares to this. I've done this work. I've put it in. And then if you've got money, you can't hold money and expect to get money. You're going to have to put some money out there, invest in some things that will bring back a reward. You've got to understand that principle. You are going to have to be willing to put money in the game, put energy in the game, put effort in the game to a point where you literally develop momentum spiritually. I know we're talking business, but you've got to develop a momentum spiritually that the universe is hearing you, that the universe is responding to you, that the universe is answering your demands. And life and the universe and whatever else you want to say will pay whatever price you demand, but it's going to have a counter demand. If you say you want this business, the universe is going to demand that you sacrifice some time. If you say you want this business, the universe is going to demand that you take some money that you might want to spend on a vacation or something else and invest it in this business idea. The universe is going to demand that you prove that you're consistently, entirely committed to having it. And then the universe is going to say, now I'll meet you halfway. I will conspire with you to produce this thing you want. It has to be done in that way. I cannot stress this enough. With that being said, I'm going to check out of here. Got so much more to do, but I had to stop by this morning and give you this. Take it at face value, take it for what it is. But I'm telling you, if you don't invest in you, you can't expect anybody else to. And there is just this dynamic that is created when you put blood, sweat, tears, and money into something you believe in. You really truly own it, and it becomes a part of who you are, and it becomes a dynamic force that moves you forward. It's just a wish until you put some skin in the game. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. As I always say, live your life on full so that you die on E. Have a great day.
expect when people talk about a success, all of the elements they think, intelligence, expertise.
What other doors could they close?
Hey, how much am I willing to give up and commitment and are not committed to the struggle, acquiescing to the struggle, they're committed.
Careful who you leave.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in right now. Thanks, first of all. Second of all, I just need to really iterate the fact that we need your help. We need your support right now. We are pushing to hit a goal of $25,000 by the end of this week. That, if we hit that goal, it'll help us cover our goals for the first quarter. It'll help us consistently continue to do what we're doing with Black Men Lead, Restoring Ghettos Forgotten Daughters, our new program providing mental health services and resources, and so much more that we've been doing consistently. Again, we need your support like we've never needed it before. Thank you in advance. You have a great day.